What is happening in the ties between India and the Middle East? On the one side, our deputy NSA, National Security Advisor, goes to Iran and meets with Iranian officials. Chief of Defense Services Staff Anil Chauhan went to Armenia, met PM Pashinyan of Armenia, and paid tribute to 1.5 million Armenians who were killed by the Turks in the Armenian genocide. India's NSA Ajit Doval is in Saudi Arabia. India and the Gulf Cooperation Council sign FTA reference terms in presence of Piyush Goyal. India, UAE, and India-Israel ties remain at all-time highs. What exactly is India's strategy in the Middle East? Okay. Let's understand what's happening in the Middle East. There is an unseen rivalry that has now come to light in the Middle East. And this rivalry is Saudi Arabia versus UAE. See, UAE, from the 1970s, 1980 onwards, has been focused on development. It has been laser focused on becoming an attractive destination for expatriates to live in, an attractive destination for foreign direct investment, an attractive destination for tourism, and so many other things. And the UAE has worked really, really hard to make this happen. And today, the UAE is a big success story. About 40% of UAE's population is of Indian origin. They are not citizens, they are long-term residents or short-term residents, but 40% of the population is Indian origin. A lot of people from the West live in the UAE. The UAE is super successful, super wealthy. Abu Dhabi has a lot of oil. Dubai has a lot of expats. And you have Hindu temples there and whatnot, right? So it's a success story. It's a great success story. The UAE, they've worked very hard for this and they deserve the success that they've achieved. Now, Saudi Arabia tried to do that. There was this upheaval in Saudi Arabia in the 2010s, late 2010s, and Prince Mohammed bin Salman became the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, and he tried to copy the UAE trajectory. So he liberalized Saudi society. He gave Saudi ladies, Saudi women, the right to come out in public without coverings, I suppose, and drive automobiles and all that. And he embarked on these massive infrastructure projects like the Lion City and Neom and whatnot. But it's not really worked out, because in the UAE, the quality of the population is very high. They're very well educated, and they are, more liberal, more Western, more secular, whatever you want to call them, right? Highly educated. The Saudi population is very different. So it's not really, that's one of various factors, okay? So Saudi Arabia tried to become a super UAE kind of country. It has not worked out. And now Saudi Arabia has decided that we're going to revert to what we really are. So Saudi Arabia last year signed this deal with Pakistan, mutual defense deal. If somebody attacks Saudi Arabia, Pakistan will come to Saudi Arabia's rescue. If somebody attacks Pakistan, Saudi Arabia will come to Pakistan's rescue. That sort of thing, which is very anti-India, obviously. And Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have another partner, which is Turkey. Okay? Which is like a Western Asian version of Pakistan, a slightly lighter skinned version of Pakistan. But once again, Turkey is a nation that doesn't have a history. It has a criminal record, Armenian genocide, right? The Ottoman Empire and the horrific brutalities it did. So their history is more of a criminal record than a history. And their approach is, they are hand in glove with ISIS, the Turks. So once again, just like Pakistan, very terroristic tendencies. So Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Turkey are now this alliance, you could say, in West Asia. Pakistan, obviously, in the subcontinent, and Saudi Arabia and Turkey are in West Asia. Now, there's a Saudi Arabia versus UAE rivalry also, and I'll not go into the details of that, otherwise it becomes too long. But these two nations are rivals, Saudi Arabia and UAE. They are rivals in Yemen, they are rivals in the Horn of Africa, in Sudan, in Somalia, everywhere. In Somaliland also, and so on and so forth. So there is this rivalry, Saudi Arabia versus UAE. Now, the UAE and India have an excellent relationship. Excellent relationship. Okay? One of the very visible reasons is that 40% roughly of UAE's population is of Indian origin. There are Hindu temples in the UAE. India and the UAE have a very robust, we have an FTA, we have defense relations. It's a great relationship. Okay? And there's another partner in this India-UAE relationship, which is Israel. UAE and Israel are also on very good terms, and India and Israel are obviously on excellent terms. So it's India, UAE, Israel versus Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Turkey. That is the situation in West Asia. When it comes to Armenia, India and Israel are kind of on opposite sides, because India supports Armenia, but Israel supports Azerbaijan. But Israel doesn't support Azerbaijan out of ideological reasons. It supports Azerbaijan because it seeks Azerbaijani oil. Israel needs that, right? It gets oil and hydrocarbons from Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan and Turkey seek to erase Armenia from the map of the world. And India and Iran are working together to prevent this from happening and to support Armenia. So that is the situation. We also have a very good relationship with Greece, which is kind of west of Turkey. Turkey squats on Greek territory, obviously, Anatolia, which is a whole different story. And Turkey is an aggressor towards Greece and towards Cyprus. And India has good relations with Greece and Cyprus. So there's a whole lot happening in this region. And that essentially is India's situation, India's strategy in the Middle East.